Good morning. Today is Sunday, October the 9th, and our lesson this morning, the builder of the house. And our lesson is coming from Hebrews, the 3rd chapter, the 1st verse through the 6th, and Matthew, the 7th chapter, the 24th verse through the 29th. It's a read, Hebrews 3, 1 through 6, Matthew 7, 19 through 29. Times about AD 67 and AD 28. Places unknown. And Mount near Capernaum. Golden text. Every house is builded by some man, but he that built all things is God. Hebrews 3 and 4. Our lesson this morning is coming from our Sunday School Bible Expo and Illuminator. Lesson 6, October 9, 2016. Scripture lesson text reads, Hebrews 3, 1, Wherefore, holy brethren, partakers of the heavenly calling, consider the apostle and high priest of our profession, Christ Jesus, who was faithful to him that appointed him, as also Moses was faithful in all his house. For this man was counted worthy of more glory than Moses, inasmuch as he who hath built the house has more honor than the house. For every house is built by some man, but he that built all things is God. And Moses verily was faithful in all his house, as a servant for a testimony of those things which were to be spoken after. But Christ as a son over his own house, whose house are we, if we hold fast the confidence and the rejoicing of the hope firm unto the end. Matthew 7 and 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and does them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, and was founded upon a rock. And every one that heareth these sayings of mine, and does them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it. And it came to pass, when Jesus had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine. For he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes. Amen. This is a wonderful and powerful lesson we had this morning, teaching us that we need to make sure that we are building our life on the rock which is Jesus Christ. Something that is studied, that doesn't change over time, no matter what's going on, no matter what the situation is, he doesn't change. And that's why he's a rock to us. I'm going to read you a passage from the Sunday School Expo and Illuminator, the heart of the lesson. It says, this week's lesson discusses the house Jesus built and the importance of building one's life on rock, not on sand. Jesus, apostle and high priest, Hebrews 3, 1 and 2. Followers of Jesus have responded to God's heavenly call and share in it. Now, as the holy brethren, we should study the person of Jesus, whom we confess. He is both apostle and high priest. As apostle, Jesus was God's messenger to mankind. As high priest, he represents us before God. Jesus faithfully fulfilled all that God had assigned to him. For his part, Moses had been a type of Christ, as he faithfully led Israel out of Egypt to the border of the promised land. Jesus, builder of the house. Hebrews 3, 3 through 6. The Jewish people revered Moses as being the greatest prophet. As a servant of God, Moses had overseen God's house. Israel, he was a testimony of one to come. Jesus, but one to come, which was Jesus. But Jesus is God's Son, and he is in charge of his own house. He brought the church into being. Jesus is worthy of more glory than Moses is. The writer of Hebrews gave an illustration. Every house has a builder. The builder receives more honor than does the house itself. So Jesus, as builder of the house, should receive the most honor. As believers, we are part of God's house. We should confidently and joyfully anticipate the fulfillment of our heavenly calling. Being steadfast in our faith will enable us to withstand difficulties. Number 3, wise man, builder on rock. Matthew 7:24 through 25. Jesus ended the Sermon on the Mount by telling his listeners that they should hear his word and obey them. The person who is knowledgeable about Jesus' teaching and obeys is like a wise man who prudently built his house on a rock foundation. When the rains fell, the floods rose, and the winds blew, the house stood firm. Wise men and women build their lives upon the firm foundation of Jesus' teaching. That means knowing what Jesus taught by studying God's Word ourselves and by placing ourselves under the teaching of God's Word. Then we must obey what we read and hear. William Barclay wrote that learning to obey is the most important thing in life. Learning to obey Jesus Christ's Word. Learning to obey God's Word. The Gospel of Matthew, Westminster John Knox. That's the book it's in. Number 4, foolish man, builder on sand. Matthew 7:26 through 27. The person who hears Jesus' words and does not obey is like a headless person who builds his house on sand. The construction is definitely easier than digging down to bedrock. For a while, he or she has a nice view of the ocean and quick access to the beach. But when the rain and floods and winds come, that house will fall with a mighty crash. We so many times envy those that seem to have so much and seem to get by easy. But if it ain't steady, if it ain't strong, if it isn't built on the rock, which is Jesus, it will fall. Jesus, teacher with authority. Matthew 7:28 through 29. Those listening to Jesus were astonished at the authority which he spoke. He was unlike their religious teachers, who relied on earlier teachers' interpretations of the scriptures for their authority. Jesus is the builder of the house, both God's household and our lives. As recipients of God's heavenly call, let us build our lives on what counts for eternity, which is Jesus Christ. Amen. I pray that you meditate on this lesson today, and y'all have a wonderful and blessed day.